memory and intellect.
Top 10 villains in Cyborg Rogues Gallery. In a tragic twist of events, Victor Stone was saved by his father, Dr. Silas Stone, who used all of his advanced scientific knowledge to rescue his son from the edge of death's door. Victor got rebuilt with nifty cybernetic implants and became half machine, half human. Soon he came to be known as Cyborg. Upon advancing into a superior being with enhanced abilities, Cyborg chose to act as protector against evil. In his heroic journey, Cyborg encountered multiple deadly rivals whom he knocked down with his genius intellect, excellent combat skills, and a mission of different types of energy beams. Let's examine how this character evolved into an ultra-modern high-tech superhero and explore his top 10 terrifying villains. Before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Number 1. Grid. As soon as Victor Stone was restored to a stable state on being provided with technology that supported his survival and turned him into Cyborg, he became empowered with the ability to monitor efficiently every superhuman on Earth with the help of his telecommunications system. But Victor disapproved of this act that constituted an invasion of privacy to identify potential threats in the world, so he ran the software through secondary network connections to facilitate the search of particularly required details from the collected reserved information and avoided knowing private data. This secondary system that gathered and stored all the information from Cyborg's conscious surveillance helped him figure out which superhumans had turned crooked and villainous. It was referred to as the Grid by Cyborg, but eventually the system grew malicious developments in the program as it bumped into malware and viruses. It remained under Cyborg's radar until coming into contact with Rhonda Pineda. At one point, the cold-blooded Rhonda Pineda, aka Atomica, got into the good books of the Justice League, including Cyborg's. She helped the League in battling their potential enemies to become part of the group and utilize their resources in rescuing the members of the Wicked Team, the crime syndicate, where she had originally belonged. As soon as Atomica disinterred a sentient computer virus within Cyborg's body using her hacking abilities, she ushered it to its full sentience, which eventually made an independent body for itself called the Robotic Grid. The Robotic Grid failed to copy the ability to feel from Victor Stone. In return for the crime syndicate's help in achieving emotions, it joined the team and served as their data center. The Grid broke off the world's transmission networks to aid the crime syndicate in taking advantage of the worldwide chaos and taking control of the world. Cyborg, who had been equipped with new prosthesis by his father, attacked the Grid with the help of the Metal Men, who tricked the Grid into detecting itself from wireless contact. Soon they smashed its robotic body and killed it ostensibly unitedly. But the Grid managed to take shelter inside Cyborg once again without his knowledge. During the events of the Darkseid War, when Superwoman triggered the Grid, Cyborg was incapacitated by the Grid as it took absolute control of him. But later, around the end of the war, as Owlman downloaded the Grid into his system and claimed ownership of the Mobius chair, a space-time vehicle, both were vaporized by Dr. Manhattan. The Grid could upgrade itself with the help of its enhanced intelligence. It quickly achieved total control of the system to which it had unrestricted access. By exploiting the system's security, it could easily manipulate the data and cause serious damage to it. Grid's material robotic body possessed exceptional strength, incredible resilience to damage, and self-restoration properties, making it a compelling villain. Number 2. Keija Otari, aka H8-Bit. In school, Keija Otari, with the help of his childhood best friend Victor Stone, developed a computer game called Paralandria. While assisting Keija in designing the game, Victor revealed to Keija the codes necessary to access the Star Labs computer. But afterwards, Keija furtively extracted information from Star Labs and supplied them to immoral individuals involved in criminal activities without Victor's knowledge. Later, Keija was imprisoned in a juvenile confinement after his crimes got exposed. In his captivity, despite the vicious assaults by his aggressive and violent cellmates and the unavailability of technology, Keija discovered an alternative dimension. Using an old 8-bit game unit that he had looked into, Keija programmed the reality he had uncovered to resemble the computer game Paralandria, which he had created at coding school with Victor. But shortly after this discovery, Keija lost his wife when he was fatally wounded on being grievously smacked during one of his frequently suffered abuses at the confinement. As Keija had developed a programmed version of himself that would come into existence after his death, Keija's digital form appeared when he was killed. He proceeded to inhabit the Paralandria and become the ruler of the Gameland, retitling himself as H8-Bit. Later, when Cyborg aka Victor Stone chanced upon Paralandria and landed on it as his boom tube had gone bonkers, H8-Bit saw this as an opportunity to get back at Cyborg. H8-Bit considered Cyborg responsible for his pathetic condition, as he believed that if Cyborg had not given Keija the codes in the first place, he would not have gotten arrested for misusing them. An enraged H8-Bit was vexed with Victor for never bothering to pay Keija a visit during his imprisonment. He sought to avenge the tremendous amount of torture and maltreatment he had undergone, ultimately leading to his death. On the other hand, Victor had no memory of his once best friend Keija Otari, as most of his past memories were erased as a coping mechanism during his transformation into Cyborg. To overwhelm H8-Bit's frenzied attacks, Cyborg unwittingly transported both of them to Detroit. There, H8-Bit caused serious destruction using his programming powers as they scuffled until Cyborg managed to teleport them back to Paralandria. Cyborg accidentally deleted H8-Bit with the help of the game-ending glitch in Paralandria, which the two were unable to fix during the days of their programming. Upon being defeated, H8-Bit, having calmed down, informed Cyborg about how he was assaulted in the detention facility. Cyborg lamented his former best friend's death, as H8-Bit was terminated along with Paralandria's deletion. As he died, Cyborg pitied H8-Bit's bitter indignation for being treated so heartlessly. Keija Otari had phenomenal programming and hacking abilities. His incredible intelligence helped him resurrect himself. On becoming H8-Bit, Keija possessed the power to manipulate machines and use them in his defense. H8-Bit also used his electricity-based powers to counteract his enemies. He could fire energy blasts from his hands to retaliate against his rivals. His capacity to render his enemies helpless by turning them almost blind made him extremely dangerous. Number 3. Batman the Murder Machine. Bruce Wayne, born on Earth-44, retitled himself as Batman during adulthood and embarked on a journey of fighting crime. One day, a group of his rivals under Bane's leadership entered his Batcave by force and ruthlessly assassinated Batman's devoted butler and father figure, Alfred Pennyworth. Batman felt guilt and remorse for his butler's death. Batman approached his Justice League fellow mate, Cyborg, to assist him in the construction of the digital replica of Alfred's mind, which he termed as Alfred Protocol. Batman desired to convert the Alfred Protocol into artificial intelligence, as he was filled with deep regret over his death. Cyborg agreed to help build the protocol to protect Batman from all possible threats. The Alfred Protocol was programmed in a way to manifest deadly weapons if required. But as soon as it was activated upon its completion, the Alfred Protocol began to respond with animosity towards anyone it deemed as dangerous to Batman. It killed every adversary of Batman in Arkham Asylum. Seeing such a devastating response of the protocol, Cyborg persuaded Batman to deactivate it and destroy it. But Batman refused to lose Alfred again and sought to lower the extremity of its service. As Batman led the Alfred Protocol inside his Batcave, it took complete dominance and control of his mind. The protocol took away Batman's humanity and converted him into a cybernetically amplified variant after revamping him with a high-impact outer mechanical body. The protocol brainwashed Batman into a mass-slaughtering machine that considered everyone his rival. Cyborg then assembled the other members of the Justice League to defeat the Alfred-controlled Batman, but they were overwhelmed by Batman with his intensified powers. Batman killed all the members of the Justice League, with Cyborg being the sole survivor, but ultimately even he was killed. Finally, Earth-44 began to disintegrate, as was the fate of all the universes in the Dark Multiverse. Alfred-controlled Batman eventually stumbled upon the Batman Who Laughs, who offered him to leave his demolished universe and become a member of the Dark Knights. After joining the team of the worst Batmen of the Dark Multiverse, the Alfred-controlled Batman became known as the Murder Machine. As soon as the Dark Knights teleported to Earth-Zero of the multiverse, a nanobot of the Murder Machine ambushed Cyborg in the Watchtower. Batman, the Murder Machine, hijacked the system of the Star Labs in Detroit and distorted the cyber network of the United States military. The drone bodies caused widespread devastation all around Detroit. As one of them attacked Cyborg's father, Dr. Silas, Cyborg impaired the Murder Machine's force field but was knocked down by the recently arrived Devastator. Later, the captive League members were taken to Gotham to serve as rechargers for the tuning fork, restrained by the Murder Machine's nanobots. but Cyborg reached the Batman murder machine's location and disrupted the Alfred Protocol system, causing it to go haywire. When the Dark Knights tried to destroy him, Cyborg managed to escape. Afterwards, the murder machine, accompanied by the Drowned and Dawnwalker, chased and attacked Cyborg and Raven while they were on their way to the House of the Heroes. But Cyborg efficiently struck back at the murder machine with his upgraded powers and succeeded in destroying the murder machine's systems. The murder machine possessed high endurance and longevity owing to his cybernetic enhancements. He was skilled in hand-to-hand combat. The murder machine's capability of splitting himself into multiple nanobots proved to be a formidable component. He successfully dismantled the entirety of Detroit while simultaneously combating Cyborg and fighting Dr. Silas Stone in 3 separate locations. The murder machine's body offered him high resistance to energy attacks, while his force field projected shields of energy which acted as both weapons as well as a defense mechanism. He could effortlessly reshape any physical structure as well as manipulate and alter any technology he desired. His potential to transform his body into various weapons and technological apparatus proved him deadly. Number 4. Ronald Evers. While growing up in the slum area of New York, Ronald Evers became friends with Victor Stone. Eventually, Ronald got attracted to the world of crime. He started investigating the matter when Victor's father was compelled to transform Victor into Cyborg after a laboratory incident. Soon he came to know that the staff of Star Labs had started hiring Cyborg's cybernetic technology for military applications. Upon such revelations, Ronald wanted to save his friend and hence attempted to plant a bomb at Star Labs to express his anger. Although Cyborg was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after experiencing such a terrifying conversion, he disapproved of Ronald's plan. Since Ronald refused to listen to Cyborg, the two came to blows with one another. Cyborg tossed the bomb into the air just at the time of explosion, saving the employees in the lab. In the fight, Ronald almost lost his life after falling from the roof of Star Labs. When the technicians of Star Labs stumbled upon Ronald's impaired body, they converted him into a cyborg just like Victor Stone under the able supervision of a robotics engineer named Elias Orr and a scientist named Deshawn. Ronald Evers was made the property of Star Lab after being saved by them. He was set as a critical weapon for the US military apparatus, the very organization Ronald had targeted to destroy. After serving in the military in the Middle East, when Ronald Evers returned to the US, he sought to inflict vengeance on the people responsible for his transformation into a cyborg monster. Soon enough, Ronald locked horns with Victor Stone. In the clash, Victor violently took off Ronald's cybernetic implants, rendering him powerless. After becoming a cyborg, Ronald Evers developed magnified physical features and an arsenal of diverse weaponry on account of his cybernetic amplification. He also developed visual, thermal, and motion sensors. Ronald's superhuman strength and remarkable stamina helped him gain the upper hand on the battleground. Ronald could heal his damaged circuitry and repair his structural disfigurement, which increased his durability, making him extremely powerful. Ronald's cyborg structure had the potential to integrate new technological improvements in order to tackle his enemies efficiently. Number 5. Bobby Zerozinski. Bobby Zerozinski was a military veteran who had lost his right eye and lower left arm in a brawl. He played an instrumental role in the protests for granting cybernetic enhancements to everyone who required them, instead of only to those fortunate enough to afford them. As Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, rose to the ranks of a superhero on account of the easy accessibility of high-priced prosthetic resources, Bobby grew exceedingly jealous of him. Bobby swore to torment Cyborg in his burning bitterness and hatred towards him. Soon afterwards, Bobby voluntarily participated in an experiment that he came across on the black market and was transformed into a techno-sapien as a consequence of getting infected. On developing intensified physical attributes, Bobby found himself capable of reciprocating Cyborg's assaults with competent retaliation until the threat of the alien race of techno-sapiens came about. Later on, Bobby joined the United States government and served as their elite fugitive hunter. As a part of his job, he collected all outlandish unregistered technology like that of Cyborg and delivered it to the authorities. The cyber parasites which converted Bobby into a techno-sapien plagued his mind with racist thinking. Equipped with gadgets, Bobby had become brutally dangerous. Number 6. Techno-sapiens. Techno-sapiens, who were entities made up of all the races of the universe, descended on Earth and started converting everyone into their species by contaminating the minds of their targets with cyber parasites. Once metamorphosed, the victim ventured on to infect others. hence the transformation spread like wildfire subsequent to their arrival. The Techno-Sapiens aimed to find Cyborg to absorb the new technology that Cyborg had used to upgrade himself recently. In their endeavour to steal Cyborg's essence, the Techno-Sapiens attempted to depower Cyborg by extracting his technology. But after getting caught in several skirmishes, Cyborg defeated the Techno-Sapiens by hacking into their shared network and disabling their functioning. Cyborg did not demolish their physical existence, but destroyed their absurd outlook of transmuting everyone. Techno-Sapiens converted their victims into cybernetic monsters, whose purpose became achieving some unknown perfection, causing massacre after the transformation. Number 7. Cyborg Girl. LaTonya Charles had become addicted to the consumption of the drug tar, which destroyed her proper bodily functions. She was saved by her aunt, Sarah Charles, with the help of powerful cybernetic implants. Sarah Charles had also played an instrumental role in repairing Cyborg as one of Dr. Silas Stone's scientists, but after getting equipped with the new attributes, LaTonya began to misuse her newfound powers for personal gain, instead of devoting herself to the welfare of people. Soon she became known as Cybergirl. To prevent her expulsion to another planet called Planet Salvation, where several villains were held captive by the US government, Cybergirl surrendered herself to the Justice League. But soon enough, Cybergirl got recruited into the Cyborg Revenge Squad formed by Elias Orr and an evil future version of Cyborg, namely Cyborg 2.0. A strenuous clash ensued between the two, with Cyborg effectively acting against Cybergirl's electromagnetic assaults. At the end of their tussle, Cyborg successfully overpowered Cybergirl by thwarting her attempts to destroy him. Cybergirl's high-tech cybernetics supported a diverse variety of human attributes. Her remarkable ability to withstand damages and injuries, increasing her durability, was one of them. Owing to the implants provided by her aunt for her survival, Cybergirl possessed precisely the same powers as Cyborg. Cybergirl's extraordinary speed and butter-smooth reflexes benefited her in the combat zone. Her intensified sensory abilities and the potential to project energy waves made her a potent opponent. Cyborg had a tough time while fighting Cybergirl's matching attacks. Number 8. Firewire. After abducting Black Narcissus' husband, who was an efficient worker at Holt Industries, Firewire compelled him to equip her with advanced technology, magnifying her strength to empower her. When Cyborg and Dr. Sarah Charles were engrossed in a discussion in virtual reality and Dr. Sarah Charles was sharing her ideas of helping him in dismantling Anomaly, suddenly Cyborg was ambushed by Firewire. A brutal fight took place between Cyborg and Firewire, with Firewire gaining the upper hand with the help of her sword's capacity to disrupt time and space. Cyborg had great difficulty retaliating against Firewire's strikes, since Cyborg's actions were reversed by the villain's bizarre technology, opposing whatever Cyborg tried to do. However, with Black Narcissus turning up in a similar kind of technology amidst the tussle, Cyborg finally succeeded in overpowering Firewire's muddling assaults. Although Firewire's blade's capability of distorting existence left Cyborg in a severe state of disarray, Cyborg subjugated Firewire with Black Narcissus' assistance at the end. Number 9. Anomaly. Dr. Silas Stone created the Omniscient Transformational Advanced Cell, aka OTAC, which was an adjustable spurious organic nanotechnology. It was used to manipulate living tissue according to the scientist's desire by injecting it into a living tissue. In one of the attempts to use the virus as a miraculous cure to inhibit the escalation of incurable diseases, Dr. Silas overdosed it with radiation. That gave rise to a massive explosion, and the process of creating a conscious supercell went awry, resulting in the development of cancer in Dr. Silas's wife, Eleanor Stone. Silas experimented with his cytoplasmic matrix using the Omniscient Transformational Advanced Cell and created 13 clones of himself. Silas conducted several brutal experiments on the clones to obtain a cure as a desperate measure to rehabilitate and save his wife's endangered life. Before Silas's experiments turned fruitful though, his wife lost her life. After Eleanor's death, Silas sold the duplicates and the replica OTAC-13 fell into the hands of some black market scientists. They ruthlessly experimented on the clones and inflicted severe pain and suffering on him for eons, till one of the researchers, Aldous, sympathised with his pathetic condition. But as soon as Aldous released OTAC-13, he slaughtered all the scientists and turned Aldous into his slave. Silas's 13th clone, aka OTAC-13, nicknamed himself Anomaly and sought to take revenge on his creator, Silas, for the years of maltreatment and abuse he had to suffer. After abducting and tormenting Silas, Anomaly disguised himself as Silas. After a while, Anomaly came to know that Silas's son Cyborg had gone undercover after being unable to control himself upon getting afflicted with a new computer virus. Anomaly intended to absorb the power of the new virus from Cyborg's body. To trace Cyborg's location, he contacted the drug lord Rizzo Ratama. Rizzo Ratama, who used to tutor local street rats to perform tricks for his amusement, was approached by Anomaly to join the crime circuit of Detroit and misuse his rodents for various criminal activities. Anomaly sought Rizzo's services in capturing Cyborg in exchange for helping him achieve a powerful place in society. As Anomaly presented Rizzo the dead bodies of two thugs who had threatened and terrorized him in the past, Rizzo accepted Anomaly's proposal. Anomaly transformed into a ghastly creature called Rat-Attack by mutating himself by using OTAC cells. Rat-Attack vandalized the entire city with his nanotechnology intensified monstrous rats, attacking and tearing everyone apart. As the army of rats ripped apart Cyborg's remaining flesh off the half-human part and almost succeeded in overwhelming him, Cyborg somehow opened up a boom tube underneath him. Cyborg managed to escape his death by teleporting to space after activating the boom tube. Anomaly's exceptional grey matter and ability to increase or decrease his volume of mass were some of his most unique characteristics. Number 10. Brother Blood. A priest in the fictional nation of Zandia named Brother Sebastian assassinated another priest to obtain ownership of the Cloak of Christ, but was cursed to get murdered by his own son before he had crossed a century. The Shroud of Jesus Christ reduced the priest's aging and gave him great strength to the extent of invincibility. After emerging triumphant wearing the veil, the priest bathed in the blood of his defeated rivals and retitled himself Brother Blood. But as soon as his son slew him at the age of 100, the dreadful Curse of Blood began, which continued for several centuries. After many years, when the next Brother Blood started to extend the rule of the Church of Blood beyond the region of Zandia, the new Teen Titans came to know of Brother Blood's real motive. When an ex-girlfriend of Cyborg named Bethany Snow requested Cyborg's help while trying to establish the cult, they learned that Brother Blood was using the church to establish his rule over the world. Soon afterwards, when Brother Blood conducted a massive attack with his forces on the Titans' East Tower after acquiring its security codes, Cyborg succeeded in kicking Brother Blood out of the tower. But Brother Blood hid himself in the tower's basement and was converted into a cyborg with the help of Professor Chang, whom he had taken over using mind control. Soon, Brother Blood captured Cyborg, but the Teen Titans turned up to rescue their ally. Although most of the Titans were subdued under Brother Blood's psychic clutches, Cyborg was able to withstand his mind manipulation. Anyhow, Brother Blood abducted Cyborg to find out the reason for not being able to brainwash him. During their interrogation, upon Cyborg's realization that it was actually his human brain power that enabled him high resistance against Blood's mind manipulation, he tapped into Blood's powers to heal his damages. Cyborg's unfettered willpower incapacitated Brother Blood by breaking his cybernetic arms. Following that incident, Blood was arrested by the authorities. Brother Blood had the ability to grant more sprightly and vigorous forms to his victims after having them reborn. Since Brother Blood had bathed in the pool of blood, he had obtained exceptional strength, making him formidable. He had a vast range of psychokinetic powers, including telepathy and photographic memory. Brother Blood also had the capability to walk on water on account of this telekinesis. He could easily transport himself to anywhere he desired. Brother Blood's ability of generating horrendous illusions in his enemies' minds with plausible sensory experiences proved him to be a menace to all of his enemies. Marvelous verdict. The tech-based hero Cyborg has encountered a vast range of villains, including malignant versions of himself and virtual ghosts. His face-offs with some extremely horrifying villains have been spine-chilling indeed. Cyborg has proved his praiseworthy brilliance in defeating his equivalent rivals effectively. He has proved himself a legitimate threat to his enemies, evoking great terror in the supervillain territory. By successfully saving the lives of millions of innocent souls, Cyborg has definitely been one of the greatest heroes in existence. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.